morning.
Hello.
We're down in Saco Bottom today. We're going to check out the Churchill train tunnel and then talk a little bit about history and legend and where the two intersect. And then we're going to go to a different place. So we're going to check out this thing first. So this is the Churchill train tunnel.
What is coming down it? What's that coming down?
It's water, Finn.
What is this?
So back after the Civil War, Richmond needed to expand their rail lines to bring coal into the city, the growing city, and they decided to go through Churchill because over it's too far and going around it takes too long. So the best way to go is through Churchill. Of course, people warned them about this, that Churchill is primarily blue marl clay and shrink swell soils, and they had problems with the tunnel collapsing. So eventually they don't. They decided not to use this tunnel because with all the collapses, it just wasn't a good thing to do. So time goes on, Richmond keeps growing. They need to get a faster way to bring coal into the city. They decide 1920s to reopen the tunnel. So they start working on reopening the tunnel. And what happens? Well, one day there's a crew of men working in there. They've heard 200 and some people in there. And the tunnel collapses. And right on top of the men working, the boiler of the train explodes. The driver of the train, the engineer, he dies. Two other men are trapped inside and are still inside. Another man, the boiler worker, is horribly burned and he later dies in the hospital. And that plug, the train, all of the cars, and at least two men are still buried in there. And you can see the water leaking out of that thing. It's filled with water and it still collapses and leaks and everything else. It's a terrible thing. Now here's where the legend comes in. Some people say that when that tunnel collapsed, it was because they were working in there and awakened an ancient evil, the Richmond Vampire. And that day, they chased the vampire across town to Hollywood Cemetery. That's where we'll go to next. So legend has it that after the tunnel collapsed, that this ancient evil awakened and this creature crawled out of the tunnel and he was chased across town. But this tomb inside Hollywood Cemetery. And if you look at those WWs, don't those look like vampire teeth? Doesn't it look like the home of a vampire? Looks like somebody's busted off the lock.
The gate should be closed.
Scary.
This should be closed because I'm sure I'm not going to go in.
What do you think, Em? Scared? What do you think, Finn? Is there really a vampire in there?
Well, I'm not going in there. I'm getting out of here.
And that's the story of the Richmond Vampire. this thing? You're dead? You're buried in this thing? Holy Hellmans. Were you like a Egyptian pharaoh? I mean, holy Hellmans, how much does this cost? So I thought maybe we'd come down to Hollywood, take a look around, see who else is buried here. I know who else is buried here. I'll tell you about some people buried here. So here's Douglas Southall Freeman. He wrote a biography of Washington, which is really good. He also wrote a biography of Lee and of Lee's lieutenants. I believe he also hosted a radio show at one time. Pretty impressive historian. Of course, it did kind of perpetuate the lost cause mythology. Douglas Southall Freeman, here he is. James is quite high today.
Who's that? Why does he not have her arms?
What do you think, Ben? So this is the grave of James Moro, who Lindsay Chervinsky says is the most boring of the early presidents. And of course, here's John Tyler. Whose grandchildren and great-grandchildren are still alive to this day. Believe it or not.
Ow! Why did it point up? You have to look up,
Yeah, what do you see? What's up?
son. This is a weird one. Hello, Daddy. Hey-ya.
Oh!
Grow up with me. That looks cool. Come look at this.
That's Belle Isle out there. Yep. See the bridge? Underneath the bridge? That's how you get over to the island. Belle Isle was a racetrack at one time, and it was a POW camp, a power plant, a quarry, a nail factory, I believe. There's a whole lot of stuff. And if you read John Smith's account of coming to Virginia and exploring. John Smith sailed up the James to this point, and right down here on the other side of these buildings is Gamble's Hill, and came right to Gamble's Hill. Christopher Newport would later come and erect a cross there, and then for a long time it was Gamble's Hill Park until whatever that company's name is that settled or built a building on top of it. I don't remember all this. I feel like all this stone wasn't here the last time I was here.
Daddy, look. Logan.
I know.
Logan gun.
Of course, it's Jeff Davis, President of the Confederacy.
Jefferson Davis.
I just read in Gilded Age of Virginia, Gilded Age Richmond, about them bringing Jeff Davis here, and there was a whole lot of drama. That's Logan.
Yeah, I'm X-Men.
Is that the Wolverine's grave?
Yes, because Wolverine's name is Logan.
I don't know who this person is then.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's the Wolverine.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. That's a pretty cool lock, huh?
How do you open? They don't. How's there a 9?
It's a pretty cool lock,
That's
huh?
how you open it.
Yeah.
It's a 9.
A 9.
Cheddar goblin, cheddar goblin, cheddar goblin. Cheddar goblin, cheddar goblin, cheddar goblin.
Cheddar Goblin.
Yeah, you know what cheddar goblin is, right?
Yeah, but I don't think there's a Cheddar Goblin here.
Cheddar goblin, cheddar goblin, cheddar goblin. Yay, 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 yay. Yay, 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 yay. Should I say Beetlejuice 3 times?
No! I don't think I've ever seen that one.
I'm definitely gonna say it 3 times. I'm definitely gonna
No,
say
I haven't seen that. What are the bells for?
Hang on.
Those bells, Finn?
Yes, let's ring them.
I don't know if we want to ring them. Whoa, that's intense.
What? What's in
That one's super heavy.
So, oh, that one's heavy, lightish, and oh my god, heavy.
Yeah, put it down, please. Don't break it.
What's this?
That's a penny. Leave it there.
Wow.
All right, let's go.
What?
Tell us.
What?
Wow, look at that. Look at the sour one.
Hydrant. Hydrant.
So this is the grave of Conrad Sour and the Sour family. They're the ones that are responsible for all the spices. You know, sour spices. And it's pretty incredible.
You can't see that. I can see it.
And
It's
this-
over. They think that's a scam. They think that's.
What are you trying to do?
Open it.
I don't think so.
Hi guys.
All right, come on, man.
Should I jump?
If you really want to.
Will you catch me?
No, jump. The ground will catch you.
What?
Oh, there's a car coming. Here is Fitzhugh Lee. This is a nephew of Robert. He was say a general during the war, and then post-war he was a governor of Virginia. Yeah, cavalry. I read something else about him recently, and I can't remember what it was. Love it. It never fails. Anytime I come here, I see something new. There's another dog. I've never seen this dog. Dog number 2. And somebody left him a bottle of Guinness. Pretty cool. If you look behind you, there's a grave. And this grave...
Why is there a stuffy in there?
Huh?
What's that?
Belongs to a little girl. And there's lots of stories here. The
No.
one story is that she used to walk by this girl. No.
No.
She used to walk by this dog every day. It was in front of a barber shop, and she used to pet the dog on the head. And so when she died, the barber shop gave the dog to the cemetery to stand watch over her grave. The other one is that during the war, they moved the dog to the cemetery in order to keep the dog from being melted down and turned into bullets.
Dog move.
So those are the 2 stories. I don't know which one's true. But everybody comes by. It's the dog.
Move.
It's not gonna move. It weighs like 10 tons.
What's this?
So here lies Odorous Urungus, lead singer of Guar. I believe this is just a cenotaph. I don't really think he's here, but Odorous Urungus, Dave Brocky, Death Piggy, ex-cops. Was he an ex-cops? I can't remember. Anyway,
What are those?
Guar, Death Piggy. Lots of good stuff left.
Daddy, what is this? What are those? That looks like a gym.
Pretty awesome.
Hey, Daddy. What is
A few guitar picks shoved in there.
This is definitely a story that I need in Tiny Tina's Wonderland. This is the type of story I need in Tiny Tina's Wonderland. If you have that game, please subscribe. If you have Tiny Tina's Wonderland, please subscribe and click
I like these tree stumps. This one, is it supposed to be like that, or is it a break? I don't know if they're... Usually you see the tree stumps in our Woodman of the World. Not sure that these are. And yet another dog. Trending. And back there where Maynard is yet another coffin dog. And I believe
there's a dog right there, Watson.
at Watson, that's a coffin cat.
It's a black cat.
There's one right there at Epps.
Dog and you.
Man, the dog thing is definitely a trend. Is that another one? There's another one. And there's another one behind it.
Oh my God.
Count the dogs. Come to the cemetery and count the dogs. And just up ahead, another dog. Strong dog.
And a dog.
What are we doing, Finn?
We're finding a geocache,
Right?
and I think it's over across this bridge.
Yeah, I think it's around here somewhere. Most difficult.
What does that say?
Difficult.
Most.
Most difficult.
so difficult?
I don't know.
This is so easy. Oh, yeah, rubber.
All right, Finn, stand over here.
Oi, got this.
What'd you get, Finn?
That
All right, let's move over here.
one's low.
Yeah, it's an old one.
Look.
And here is Lewis Skinner. We know Lewis Skinner from the Botanical Gardens, and well, I mean, that really should be named the Grace Arentz Botanical Gardens. And here's Lewis Skinner. What are you talking
I
about?
had to dye my hair blue. So I got
What do you think of those
some in the
doors?
sun.
Those doors are pretty incredible, huh?
Can you open
No, you can't open it. I'm not sure if you can see through there, but that's like a stained glass window. It's pretty incredible.
it?
If you ever want to look up something fun, Grace Arentz. She's amazing. And she owned Bloomingdale, which is where the Lewis Skinner Botanical Gardens is today. Unfortunately, it comes to like an abrupt end here. I wanted to do something else and didn't get around to it. So that was it for our trip to Hollywood and down to the Churchill train tunnel. Yeah, so I want to learn more about Lewis Skinner. I know about he was president of the American, or wanted to be president, or should have been president of the American Tobacco Company. They made cigarettes, but he declined. I mean, but that's what he did. He was tobacconist, sells tobacco, right? But he was like, you know, owned the company. But he made a fortune off of cigarettes. And then Jefferson Hotel, that was Lewis Skinner. And he also created the Ginter Park area, or Ginter Park division in Richmond, which would have been I don't think I like the history of Ginter Park, or his idea of Ginter Park, but you know, let's go. But I want to learn more about him. Yeah, he's quite interesting. And then Grace Arentz is amazing, and you know, Lewis Skinner, he also had a hand in where the Botanical Gardens are now, and Bloomingdale. And I believe he used Bloomingdale as his wheeling club. So Lewis Skinner had his wheeling club there, his bicycle club, and they used to bike all over Lakeside and Richmond and everywhere. And then Grace Arentz moved in there to Bloomingdale, and then she's the one that was like all about the flowers and stuff in the gardens. I don't know if Lewis Skinner cared about any other kind of plant other than tobacco, but nevertheless, it's Lewis Skinner Botanical Gardens, and I'm not really sure why when it was Grace Arentz's house. That's where she lived. But anyway, all that to say, thanks for coming along today. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that other stuff. And we'll see you on the next one. See ya!